Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of From the District with State Senator Suzanne Weber. I am joined, as always, with our illustrious Senator. Senator Weber, how are you today?
Well, I'm just fine. I think
you were making a wedding cake.
Yes, I am.
You truly are a person of many gifts.
Just call me crazy.
The busiest time. The long session's busy, right? But the short session is busy.
You can't believe how busy it is because you just go. You've got people in your office all the time.
Yeah.
Your committee meetings, you're working hard. And then all of a sudden there's nothing.
And so you've committed, you think the best thing to do during that is to commit to baking a wedding.
Oh, yeah. Right. Last week it was oysters and clams for 200. And this week it's a wedding cake. What the heck?
Go
for it.
This time, I'm going to pull back the curtain a little bit, mess up the fourth wall. We would often say how Senator Weber was on this committee or that committee because she was chosen because of her expertise, which is true. But there was a second reason that Senator Weber was often chosen, is because she is incapable of saying no.
Yes, and my husband had this, he used to say, Suzanne, no is a complete sentence.
Yes, period. Yes.
I can parrot that, but for some reason...
It seems without Tom here to enforce that, you've decided to perhaps not.
I embrace it.
Yes. Okay. Well, I'm sure the happy couple who I believe are getting married today. We're recording this on the 28th. Yes. I'm sure they're very happy that a state senator, especially you, made this wedding cake for them. They'll have a great story. But we have a lot to talk about, so let's get to it. We want to go do a rundown of where bills are today. But first of all, today is Saturday the 28th. The Constitution requires that you be done by Sunday, March 8th. Yes.
Well, are you sure it isn't the 9th? Because that's what it says somewhere.
Look at my account. I just looked at it. You must House and Senate floor sessions. Okay. State holidays, legislative council deadlines. No, I'm not entirely sure. I'm just looking at the calendar though, and just the little green thing ends on March 8th. So,
okay.
I would suspect. I'm pretty sure it's the 8th.
Because we've been talking 9th, but maybe that's because we're hoping to all still be alive by the 9th.
Well, it's entirely possible that you guys would go, and we've seen this happen. I haven't seen it in recent memory, but it has happened to 11:59 on the 8th, 11 p.m. On the 8th. I mean, you could, and then you must be finished by the 9th.
Yes.
So I believe that is the case. That is a Sunday night. I think generally what we've liked to do, even though constitutionally you must be out by that Sunday, we generally like to get out by Friday.
The thing is, we've been having more sessions, more floor sessions.
Yes.
We've got 2 or 3 of them scheduled for Monday to be able to address a lot of the bills that are coming over to us from the House, plus the, cleanup on the Senate bills.
Yeah.
And then there will be concurrence because when if there are changes or anything goes awry, well, then it has to come back to us.
Mm-hmm.
So we double check everything, but things seem to be moving pretty smoothly. We had one day this week when we had 2 floor sessions scheduled, but we got so close by the end of the first one that we just lengthened it a little bit and then didn't have to come back for the second one. But
which sounds like a good idea at the time until you get towards the end of that first one.
Yes.
Why is this going on this long? So where we're at is we have a number of bills that our office has been working on. Your office has been working on that are almost there. So let's talk about where we're at with all your bills. First of all, some great news. we'll go ahead and celebrate SB 1504, which was the epinephrine bill that allowed for more methods of delivery.
Gone to the House, and it was passed through, and
it's off to the governor. And
sorry, Martin moment.
Well, of course, we wouldn't be from the district without a Martin moment. So that bill is off to the governor, waiting for a signature. Don't see any reason why she wouldn't sign that. But you never know. But hopefully that will be a report that is signed soon. So yay, that's wonderful. Let's talk a little bit briefly about SB 1524. We talked about this last week.
Yes.
About lottery revenues for
our fairs and our horse racing. And I don't know. It's right. Martin, you be a good boy.
Oh, he's going off to play.
He's going to play.
Oh, good.
He got groomed yesterday, and let me tell you, he looks like $1 million.
That's where I'm going after this. George has to go to the
groomer
bath. Well, not the groomer. He's not that fancy. But he needs a bath. He stinks. So this bill has already had its had two committee hearings.
Two committee hearings.
Passed out of both of those committees, I believe unanimously. And now it was off to Ways and Means, and it's sitting there like probably a lot of bills are. So the big ask.
I'm very hopeful of that, that we can move that one forward, though.
Yeah, we ask everybody. It's getting really tough at this point to get it out of Ways and Means to the floor and across the aisle, across the building to the House, but it's not impossible. So we really encourage you. The people who schedule these bills are the co-chairs of Ways and Means. That is Senator Kate Lieber and
Representative Sanchez.
There's somebody from the House, somebody from the Senate. If you can contact those folks and encourage them to politely encourage them to schedule a hearing for SB 1524.
But we need to make sure, it's only 5 counties that are involved in this.
And a small amount of money.
It's a small amount of money.
It's very small.
And the money comes from the lottery.
Yeah.
So it isn't coming, unless you choose to, provide economic development for the state by buying lottery tickets. It doesn't come from your pocketbook.
Right. And I think it's important to remember that we really, really hope the easiest way to know that this is going to happen is to pass this bill.
Right. And the other thing is we have to continually look at economic development. And horse racing, you might think, is that really economic development? Yes, it is. It is.
It is.
They come into our communities. They buy our food at our restaurants, stay in our motels. They go to the fair. They hire people that take care of the horses, groomers and trainers.
Yep.
And then we also have to make sure that we have a track that is safe. And so that costs money because that takes people and equipment.
It's important to remember that track is not used just for horse racing. It's used for the pig and fords. It's used for other things, used for the rodeo. It's used for many things. So it's not just that. So this is definitely a positive for all the communities involved. We do hope this bill will pass.
Yes.
If it does not pass, if they do not get it in, what we can hope for is that it gets inserted into another bill, often it's called a Christmas tree bill. It's we don't know.
That's what I'm hoping for.
We're hoping that it would then be inserted into a bill that would give these funds just through the big Christmas.
The economic development that is enhanced by horse racing is extremely positive, especially for small rural areas. So,
like I said, the most sure way to get this done is to pass this bill. But if this bill doesn't pass, we're still crossing our fingers that it'll come through a different way. So again, that's SB 1524. Encourage you to contact the co-chairs to ask them to schedule a hearing on that. Another one is SB 1561.
Yes,
Again, we
that's
talked
a replacement dwelling.
yeah, if it allows for replacement dwelling if it's destroyed, instead
Yes.
of having to go through the land use process, which can be very cumbersome, especially in counties like Multnomah County, to
Right.
go through an alternate process that isn't land use related would be much quicker.
And those processes for these people who have lost their homes by fire or some catastrophic event like that,
Mhm.
and they can't find the paperwork, it could take up to 2.5 years in order to get the permits to be able to do this.
Right. Well,
That's we found, especially with the wildfires of 2020, that's totally unreasonable. People need to be able to go in and rebuild.
well, this bill passed the Senate unanimously
Yes.
already, and it passed out of the House committee unanimously. Right now, as
Now
of
it's just
yesterday, it was up for it had its second reading.
reading on
Uh,
Monday.
it had its second reading already yesterday,
Okay.
the 27th. So it should be on the floor of the House
On Monday.
by the time everyone hears this. Hopefully,
Yeah.
it will have passed.
We'll be rejoicing
We will be.
that it's passed.
So, no action item requested there, except for if
No.
you go ahead and watch it, pray that this
Yeah,
bill will
right.
pass,
Pray
'cause
that this will
really, really housing in Oregon isn't something that is going to be solved by one bill. It's going to be lots of bills like this that are going to cut away at some of the red tape.
And this doesn't have a fiscal attached to it.
No,
And
it's not
when I say that, I mean it's not going to cost anybody any extra money.
If anything, it's going to
It's
save
going
a
to
lot
save money.
because it's going to certainly save the homeowner, because they're not
Right.
going to have to hire attorneys to deal with any problems, and it's going to save the city or the county a lot of money, because they're not going to have to pay staff for years on end
Right.
for this process, and they're probably going to get sued, and they won't have to pay for that. So everybody wins on this bill. Like, there's no reason not to pass it. So third reading, I'm looking at the scheduled events right now, is scheduled for Monday. So hopefully we'll be having some success on that. Let's move
How
on.
about outdoor school? Let's
Yes,
talk
let's
about
move
that,
on.
because
Another
that's
bill.
another one I testified on.
Yeah.
Positively, encouraging, that passage of that.
So let's just go a little bit of background. HB 4112. Last year, the lottery allocation of
Yes.
outdoor school was cut by about 20%, which was pretty devastating to a lot of the districts who really rely on those funds.
Yes.
to
Yes.
provide
Because
outdoor-
it's an expanded education opportunity.
Right. And, I was just kind of glancing through social media, and I saw a number of folks who are involved in outdoor schools were reiterating our call, asking folks to contact the chairs, the co-chairs of Ways and Means, to schedule a hearing of this bill.
Schedule a hearing. Let's, get it. Let's do something for our kids.
And it was really, as I was kind of reading the comments under those, you could just comment after comment after comment, pointing out that that outdoor school changed their lives for the better.
And if there was one thing today that we're talking about that needs encouragement and needs some letters, it's that.
Yeah.
And we have published the information on how you can contact those folks before. I encourage you, to go to Ollis, and go to your Ways and Means Committee members and send them a little note. Say, I support this. If you have a particularly poignant memory surrounding this, include it in the testimony. Tell them how you feel.
It really is impressive. This bill has 49 co-sponsors. There's
Yes.
like 90 legislators, so
Right.
over half of the legislators in the legislature support this bill, and it is across the
Across the aisle. It's both
across
Republicans and Democrats that
not
support it.
not only across the aisle, but across, because there's more moderate Republicans, there's far more conservative Republicans, there's more middle of the road Democrats, there's very, very far left Democrats. I mean, when you have a bill where you have Representative Gamba, who's probably one of the most liberal members of the legislature, on the same bill as Representative Reschke, who's probably one of the most conservative members, there's probably something about that bill that is a good thing. So again, this bill, HB 4112, is in Ways and Means. It's passed out of its committee, but it's got to pass out of Ways and Means. So again, this is another one of those bills that the easiest, most sure way of getting this done is to pass this bill, HB 4112. So we encourage folks to reach out to Representative Sanchez and Senator Lieber, ask them to schedule a hearing for this bill.
Good idea. Please.
But if it doesn't happen, this is another one that we pray, if we don't get the bill across the finish line, that the funding will be inserted somewhere that we can get it done. So cross your fingers for that. Another one we talked about, this is one that someone else really had done most of the work on, but you hopped onto because it was so important. And this was HB 4151.
It's the swatting bill.
It makes it so that it really intensifies the penalties for someone who makes a false report of violence or makes a false call to the police, a false report to the police. And this is colloquially.
Yeah, and we're seeing it, that increasing across the nation, actually. And we're seeing, some dire consequences as a result of people making these, false reports.
Yeah.
And then too, we have people that are making bomb threats to schools and buildings and hospitals and things like that. And we're not seeing any kind of consequences. Well, any action you do, you have a consequence. And I think that with the amount that this harms people, this swatting, the consequences ought to be more dire.
Yeah. We see it in schools, obviously. In fact, we just saw it in believe,
Tillamook,
where somebody called in a false report.
Bomb threat.
Shooting, threat there's going to be a school shooting.
One of those two things.
That was one. We've seen it also with elected officials where someone will call and report a robbery or report a murder or someone at the address of an elected official, and then the cops descend upon that address. And that's particularly dangerous. Number one, it takes away law enforcement from actual crimes.
Right.
And number two, it's dangerous because they come descend on this house. The person who lives in the house will just
they have no idea,
to take the garbage out, and they've got guns pointed at them. They don't know what's going on. Lord knows if they're carrying and they have guns pulled at them, maybe they pulled their gun out, and a cop, the natural reaction is having a gun pulled at you is to shoot. And so people can end up dead. And right now it's just a misdemeanor to
do that. Yeah.
This increases it to a felony. In most cases, good bill, should pass. Again, another one of those bills that is across the
it's across the ideological
aisle.
It
has passed the House already. It has passed its committee in the Senate. We suspect that we will see this on the floor this week. So it's 4151. If you're watching this and you want to reach out, and your Senator Weber is not your senator, you can reach out to your senator and encourage him to vote yes on 4151. That'll be an important thing. So,
I think it's important.
So those are where we are on the big bills, where you are one of the chief sponsors on.
Yeah, but one we didn't talk about was 4148, which has come over from the House, which is the transit lodging tax.
You're right.
The reallocation, and we have we did some work when it was in the House, and there's an amendment. It's not going to be a 40-60. It's going to be a 50-50 reallocation of that money, and there are going to be grants for small businesses that are allowed in this whole in this bill, which I think is really good because, and someone said, well, small businesses, why would small businesses need money from tourism money? Well, it's the small businesses that people are coming here to, to eat at, to
Right.
shop at.
Mhm.
And, when they're not here, some of those small businesses are niche businesses and they need extra help.
Absolutely. And so it was very heartening to see the bill passed the House with 40 votes. And honestly, it needed 31, and we were stressing that we had the 31. So to
Yeah.
have it hit 40, I really think the reason that we got that many is that amendment moving it to 50-50, and the Oregon Restaurant Lodging Association came out neutral on the bill.
Yeah.
They had been very, very against the bill from the beginning, but came out neutral, which gave a lot of people who were on the fence a feeling like, okay, this is something that we can support. So came past the House fairly comfortably. It is
Headed for the Senate.
Headed for the Senate on Monday for
Yes.
a public hearing, and they may even vote on that as well.
Right.
We don't know.
Yes.
If you have not made your voice known about this, this is the time. The best way to do it, most likely, is to do it via written testimony, because by the time you hear this, the public hearing will have already happened.
Right. And I'll tell you that I really am appreciative of the county commissioners that have stepped up to be able to support this and testify on this.
Yes, indeed. The sheriffs as well. There's been a number
and the sheriffs as well,
sheriffs.
Because once again, this also impacts law enforcement emergency services.
Absolutely. We're seeing it heavily in Clatsop County. In our area particularly, I bring it up because not only are we hit by increase in number of people, but because of the habitat conservation plan that came in, we have reduced funding coming in from timber. So not only are we seeing a higher demand on services, we're seeing less money coming in because of policy decisions by the folks,
the agencies,
and the bureaucrats. So this is a very important bill. HB 4148. Encourage you to go to olist.oregonlegislature.gov.
And when you pass, it's just like the epinephrine bill. You pass a bill, you at that time you see the parameters of what it's going to impact. Mm-hmm. Time changes things.
Right.
And we have to be able to move according to how time changes things. And this is one of these things. And there are states in this great United States of ours that have transient lodging tax, and all of it stays in the municipality. None of it goes.
Yeah.
And these are highly traveled states.
Yeah. This is an uncommon way of doing it. I don't know that there may be others who do it like this, but I don't think of any where the money actually goes to the industry instead of going to the services in the community. That are the things that are
impacted. Yes.
That's the point usually of these things, is to go back to the services in the community that are being impacted by the increased number of people. And that's not what we've done here. And I think when we first passed the TLT, we didn't have as many tourists in Tillamook. We didn't. That's changed substantially. And so we need to, because the circumstances have changed, we need to revisit the situation. And that's what we're doing. And I think this finds a nice, a balance of a bill that we can that is better than we have now, and is a bill that the industry can live with. Everybody wins.
Yes.
So that's where we are at on that bill. There's two more bills I want to talk about really quick that are controversial, and we've probably seen a lot on the news about.
Let's I know exactly which ones you're headed for. 1599.
Yes. So this is again the bill that would change the the election day, the referendum of the transportation bill, which according to the actual referendum, which was used, which everybody signed, should be in November. This bill would change it to May. And they've been very clear. The Democrats have been very clear that this is political. They want to do this because they're afraid that it's going to, they know it's going to fail, and they know that they're afraid if they do this in November, it's gonna pull down some of their voters.
Exactly.
Candidates. That's very cool.
Depending upon the district, they may be in jeopardy.
Yes. So there's been a big fight about that, but right now that bill has passed the Senate, and it is in the House. We have passed a very important deadline of February 25th that the Secretary of State said. Why is that important?
Why is that important? Well, because we've got to have voters' pamphlets prepared. We've got to have ballots prepared for military. All of those things, they have to be able to, we need to have hearings according to the law related to this.
Right.
All of that has to happen, and it has to happen rather rapidly, because it is a statewide thing. People need to be able to put their statements in the voters' pamphlet, whether if they want to, depending upon whether or not they're running for something. There's a lot of fine pieces that need to go into this puzzle to make it complete, and that was a date where things needed to clearly happen by.
Right. So it's very clear that will not happen, because it is now March 20 or February 28th, and the bill hasn't been passed the second chamber yet. And the Secretary Reed has said that in order to get everything done with the voters pamphlet, that it would need to have been signed by the 25th, which it certainly will not be. And honestly, if it's signed by the first week in March, it'll be pretty impressive.
Yeah, and there's that other date. What is it? March 12th.
March 12th, yeah.
That also comes into play. And so some things are kind of ambiguous. But there's a lot of work that needs to be done either by the 25th or by the 12th of March. And I think that the 25th was the target date also to have the governor sign it after it had.
Yes. So the deal about the 12th, I'm just finding this story from the Oregon Capital Chronicle, where it says an Oregon law which says any person who wants to have a line in the state's voter pamphlet, so comment in the voter pamphlet, must pay either $1,200,
yes,
or they have to file 500 signatures.
Yes.
If a person or group chooses the latter, the 500 signatures, the Secretary of State must verify those signatures by March 12th. And
that's not just flick of the switch. Okay, your people are good.
Yeah.
They check these things.
Well, and I think it's also important to keep in mind that I would say probably most people groups are going to pay the $1,200, but in some of these more contested ballot measures, there are a number of voters pamphlet statements, quite a number of voters pamphlet statements.
Yes.
So what this disenfranchises, not disenfranchises, that's not the right
word.
Where it makes it, where it's unfair is that your groups with money, your people with money, will be able to write a $1,200 check and have their opinion in the voters pamphlet. But your average Joe who doesn't have an extra $1,200 laying around, but feels like he could probably get 500 signatures, he's not going to be able to do it because he's not going to have time. And so that makes it so that if you are rich and can write a $1,200 check to make your voice heard, you get to have a say. And if you aren't, tough tootsie on you. And that just is, that's everything wrong with politics, right? I mean, we've
had that conversation before about, the things that politicians do that they erode trust.
Right. I don't think this bill is going, it does not matter if it is in May or in November, it's going to fail. And so there's that. The reality is all this bill is doing is making people angry at each other.
Right.
Totally unnecessary, and the entire purpose of it is to save the Democrats' political behind.
Right. And and if they'd just listened to people in the first place.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about
because that is about listening.
Yes. Let's talk about another bill that seems to also achieve pretty much nothing, and quite frankly, just pisses everybody off.
Gun bill?
HB
Yeah.
145. This is a bill which would actually, there's been a whole lot of ink spilled on it, but would do, forgive me, relatively little.
You're right.
I think the most annoying thing about this, and the frustrating thing, was essentially more than double the fees for permits and background checks, which
that's what politicians do.
Yeah.
They double the fees when they can't.
Yeah,
when
you can't ban
have an argument for taxes, and they can't ban what they want to ban.
Yeah, so they just make it so you have to be rich to do it. Very frustrating. Again, rich people getting to do what they want as opposed to your average Joe.
This is going to continue on. This is something that irritates me no end, because we always have to, we can't come into a short session where we're supposed to be dealing with things that are fixes and budget issues. And then we got to pile on something like guns. Guns are not going to be handled in this short session.
Right.
It is ridiculous to even bring that forward. Okay, so why are we doing this? Just to keep it on front of mind that this is something that we are striving for. But what is it actually doing? It's really, all right, the Democratic base demands issues be resolved around guns. They're not going to be in a short session. It's going to go to court.
It's not going to be in any session.
Yeah.
Look, we have been in the building since 2021, and we've been at every session since 2021. I think either, if not every session, close to every session, there has been a gun bill.
There's been a gun bill.
Every single time. And every single time, it causes nothing but distrust, anger, distrust of the citizens, of government, distrust of the system. And it's, it causes people, it caused walkouts. And what are you achieving? Why do we keep doing this? We need first of all, the state Supreme Court to issue a ruling on Measure 114. We're still waiting for that. So why are we doing these gun bills when we don't even know if the underlying law is constitutional? Number one. Ultimately, this has to be decided by the U.S. Supreme Court.
It's going to be going to the U.S. Supreme Court.
And
that is the only place that is going to be finally reckoned with.
Whether it's this bill or whether it's another state's bill, the Supreme Court is gonna have a say of how many restrictions can be put on the Second Amendment, and the constant yearly fight over gun bills in the legislature. It accomplishes nothing but delays actual work.
It takes away from the actual work that we need to be accomplishing.
Yeah.
The common sense things that we need to be looking at.
Right. Right. And because of that bill, it frustrated the House Republicans over, quite frankly, the shocking behavior of the Judiciary Chair, who I mean, look, I'm a lobbyist by trade. I understand trying to get somebody to vote and hard lobbying and arm twisting, but when the vote's already happened and you take somebody out in the hallway and demand that they change their vote,
no.
What did you do? Like, again, you have broken trust, you have hurt feelings, you have probably violated Rule 27. Yeah. And what have you achieved when this bill passes? Nothing.
Nothing.
Achieved nothing. And why? Why do we keep doing this? It just,
I know, I just can't believe that they continue to do this.
I know this is our last year. But I still care what the legislature does.
I do too.
I hope that Democrats will stop this Stop with the gun bills. They will achieve nothing until the U.S. Supreme Court and the state Supreme Court rule.
Right.
When that's done, we can have further conversations, which I'm sure you want. But until then, why? Why keep doing this? Please,
Yeah, I agree.
of everything holy, stop it. Let us get to the actual work of the people of Oregon actually want us to do. So I think, Senator,
I think that's it until we meet again for a,
it will
recap and a wrap up.
It'll be a wrap up. We will do one more of these next week.
A victory celebration over what because by the time we do the next one, we'll probably be able to announce whatever cap construction projects we're going to have in our district.
Yes. I guarantee that, because we're not doing one of these until sine die.
Right. And we'll also be able to look at the budget and see what education is doing, what happened with horses and what happened with outdoor school. And
we'll know.
We'll know
what we have succeeded. We know the things where we have we're still work to do. And hopefully we'll be able to hand off a lot of that work to a strong new senator next year.
Yes.
And that's what we hope.
We hope.
But hopefully we'll get as much of this done as we can this year. So we will be at this one more time next week, and then we will take a little time off and start doing these monthly, probably towards the end of April. Anything else you want to say, Senator, before we wrap up?
No, except that I want to thank you for doing this again.
Always.
I think this is, an important thing that we do in talking with people. And, we have, the Oregon Doge, just like we have the National Doge.
Yeah.
And, you should be looking in on that, seeing what those discussions are from the Republicans. There's a lot you can do to educate yourself on what's going on in government. And, don't stand by idly.
Yes. Yes, definitely. Be aware. But also have the right information. There's a lot of folks.
Yes.
Again, it still shocks me the number of people who call us and want you not to confirm one of the president's cabinet efforts. You are,
or wonder if I had a hard time finding someplace to live in Washington, D.C.
Yes.
That was the one that was just amazing to me.
So be informed. Be informed by the correct information.
Yes.
Because once the legislature is gone, there's still policy that's being made. So rules that are being written based on the policy
task forces that are meeting,
lots to do.
Study committees that are going forward. Yes.
Yep. And of course, pay attention to what your local government is doing, your cities and your counties as well. Those are closest to you and affect you the most. All right, Senator.
All right.
Thank you very much. Always a pleasure. Thank you everyone for watching. We'll catch you next week.
All right. Take care.